when we were told that we had to do a commemorative speech over somebody or something, I immediately knew who I wanted to do it over. That would be Mr. Brandon Burlsworth from Arkansas. He, some of you who don't know him, he grew up in Harrison, Arkansas, and he was an Arkansas Razorback football player from 1995 to 1998. Growing up, he lived with his mother and two older brothers. His father was an alcoholic, so he wasn't around a whole lot. So his oldest brother, Marty, was the one who raised him. He was his fatherly figure when he was around and all that good stuff. Um, Whenever he was around 10 years old, he was in this church group called Super Church. And I read this on Through the Eyes of a Champion. It's the book about Brandon Burlsworth's life. He he would, he just wanted to help all the time. At that church group, he would go and take out the trash. He would get the younger kids where they needed to go for their activities and, get drinks, just help any chance he got. And he didn't really want to be recognized for it. He was always in the background doing it without being told. Whenever he was complimented for, doing such a great job, he would just shrug it off, no big deal, just stuff like that. But growing up, he impacted so many people just with the way he was in life. He was such a happy person and just a good-natured kid. Everybody just wanted to be around him. He really wasn't, in his young years, he was a good athlete because of his size, but no one really thought that he would make it D1. In starting his sophomore year, I believe it was, he played, like I said, he played for the Harrison Goblins. I'm sure some of you know where that's at, just a little bit northeast of where we are now. Anyway, he was your average ball player, not too big, not too fast, but he'd get stuff done. It was his senior year that everything picked up for him. He gained a bunch of weight, he got faster, he got stronger, and the way he did that, he was in the weight room more than anybody. His work ethic was just so far above everybody else's level. It was just ridiculous. Everybody around him noticed, his coaches noticed, his teammates noticed, the community noticed. He became sort of like a role model for the whole town. I remember reading on Through the Eyes of a Champion, that book I was telling you about. I believe it is on page 51 to 53. His high school coach was telling a story. He came in, Brandon was always there first. He was always at practice first, and he always left last. His coach was telling the story about how he would come in to the weight room, and Brandon would always be waiting for him. And it'd be probably around 6 o'clock, and Brandon would look at him, and his greeting never changed. He would say, "Coach, did you sleep in again? I've been waiting 15 minutes." And it was just little stuff like that made Brandon, it set him apart from everything else. Like I said, his senior year, everything really got going for him. He had a couple offers from small schools such as Arkansas Tech, Henderson, Ouachita, places like that. But he had his eyes set on Arkansas. He wanted to play for Arkansas, and that was it. Nothing was going to change his mind. Well, they didn't offer him a scholarship, so he walked on. And I don't know how many of you know what that means, but walking on, you're basically paying for your school, and you are hoping that they will pick you up within the next couple years on scholarship. So as soon as he walked in, the impact he had on his coaches was just outstanding. They knew as soon as they met him that he was going to do whatever needed to be done to win. And it was just little stuff like that. And also at Arkansas, his teammates noticed right away. I mean, this guy's different. He's going to get it done. Coach Houston Nutt, after a couple years of coaching Brandon, told a story, another one from Through the Eyes of a Champion. He told his players that he wanted them to take more responsibility for their campus and, clean it up, pick up trash when you walk by, just little stuff. And he said a couple days later he was walking by campus, and Brandon Burlsworth had an arm full of trash. And he said, "Brandon, what are you doing?" And Brandon said, "Oh, this piece of trash are on the grass. I'm just trying to clean up, Coach." And he said he just shook his head knowing that, no trash was ever going to be safe with Brandon on the loose. But, I mean, it was, like I said, it was just the little stuff like that. It just set Brandon apart from everybody. He was good-natured. His faith in God was just above everybody. He was just a good person. Coach Houston Nutt, he came up with the saying, "Do it the Burls way." And what that meant was to do it the right way, even when nobody's looking. And what happened to Brandon is he got in an accident 11 days after he got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, and he died in a car wreck. And since that happened, they set up a burlsworth Foundation, and they help underprivileged kids, try and get in school. And it's just, Brandon impacted more people than almost anybody that I know, and he's a good guy, and it sucks that he had to die, and that is what I have for you guys.